Brought to you by Penguin.
What Went Wrong with Capitalism? By Ruchir Sharma. Read by Fajer Al-Kaisi.
Prologue. Why I Fell for Capitalism. The young often rebel against the systemic injustices of their time and place. Today, in America and many wealthy countries, they are agitating against the excesses of modern capitalism. Widening inequality, dominant monopolies, big corporate bailouts. They are drawn in their frustration to more government intervention or socialism as the answer, but they need to beware what they wish for. I was born in the mid-1970s, when India was staggering under the burden of a homespun socialism heavily influenced by the Soviet Union. The government had nationalized any business that was big, thrown out many that were foreign, and started building a welfare state, before generating the revenue to pay for it. Shortages were routine. The economy grew at a painfully slow rate. Per capita income was falling behind the global average. I was drawn, during my early travels outside India, to capitalism as the answer. My father had followed the path of opportunity in India at the time, which steered him into the government and a naval career. His postings kept us on the move, and I became the perennial new kid in town. In 1985 he was transferred to Singapore, which was developing a small and efficient state, with light taxes, simple regulations, and open doors, under the unchallenged rule of Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew. Most Singaporeans did not seem to mind that elections were carefully managed, because with economic freedoms so well established, average incomes were rising by more than 10% a year, better than double the global average. After the stagnation of India, Singapore was a liberating breath of fresh air. Lee's successes had earned him close ties to America and its president, Ronald Reagan, who seemed to go one better, loosening economic controls in a wide-open democracy. In my youthful exuberance, it seemed to me you could have it all, economic and political freedom. While in the West, capitalism had already come to be synonymous in the eyes of many with greed and inequality, to me, capitalism evoked endless possibility, not only for individuals, but for my beloved home country. I became a passionate reader of classic economic texts. When we returned to India, I was in my final years of high school. In May 1990, my teacher at Delhi Public School, R.K. Puram, assigned a debating topic for which I was, as luck would have it, well prepared: the relative merits of socialism and capitalism. The Soviet Empire was in its death throes, and many Indians were questioning the old socialist faith of the Congress Party, which had ruled the country almost without break since independence in 1947. I took the side of the questioners. Why, I asked, was a democracy like India, so fiercely proud of its political freedoms, so unwilling to grant its people economic freedom as well? Surely citizens who could be trusted to vote and speak their minds could also be trusted to open businesses, set prices, and exercise the economic rights granted in other democracies as a matter of course. Wealth was rising, and social welfare was improving faster in capitalist societies than in their socialist rivals. The following year, 1991, would turn out to be one of the darkest in India's post-independence history. Decades of overspending had driven the country to the verge of default on its foreign debts. Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, a scion of the Congress Party's leading family, had taken tentative steps to open up India's economy. I admired Gandhi as a modernizer and was rooting for him in the upcoming national elections. But his life and his plans for India were cut short by a suicide bomber in May of that grim year. Just out of high school, I went to work for a leading financial paper, writing a column on global markets, a beat no one else in India seemed to want at the time. 2 months after Gandhi's assassination, my press credential got me in to see the maiden parliamentary address of the finance minister, Manmohan Singh, who captured all the pathos and promise of that moment. As I rise, I am overpowered by a strange feeling of loneliness, said Singh, honoring the tragedy of Gandhi's assassination, before promising to push forward his economic agenda in a series of big...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?